Hey guys, it's Shay with Shay's Urban Edibles. Today I'm in the kitchen with garden to table, okra and tomatoes. Come along. Alright, so I'm about to get started on my okra and tomatoes. I just need to take these pickles and cucumbers, these pickles and peppers off of my can. Pour this hot water out. Keep the drain open. So I've been picking okra from my okra plants all year long, or all season long. And my freezer's getting a little on the stuck side, and so I wanted to use some of my okra. I usually make it in gumbos, or I'll do like okra and tomatoes, also do fried okra. So today I'm going to do a recipe for okra and tomatoes. We'll start off with So for my meat, I'll be using some Zumos sausage. I'll cut these up and add it to the okra and tomatoes. Also have one whole onion that I'm going to add in there. Got 1 can of tomato paste that I'm going to add. Then I also have a few Roma tomatoes. And then I'll add some seasonings as well. So I'm going to start by cutting up all of my veggies and my meat that I plan on adding into there. So let me get a bowl to put the onion in. I'll start with that first. This is a yellow onion. It's a little on the sweet side. If you prefer white onion, you can use white onion. And the amount of onion that you use is up to you. I prefer onion. I love onion. And so I always use a whole onion whenever I'm making this dish. Also, this can be, you can just eat it plain. You can add it to a bowl of rice. I use brown rice. I'm sure it's pretty tasty with white rice. You don't have to cut your onions too small, because you are going to be cooking them, stir frying them in the skillet for a little bit. I still have a lot of okra that I have a feeling I'm going to be harvesting, and so I can go ahead and use some of this okra. I've never canned okra before. I usually only freeze it. I don't even know if it can be canned. I haven't seen any other channels do it either. So it's probably best to freeze it. I know not all vegetables are good canned. I know some people say you're not supposed to can radishes, but then I see some people doing it on YouTube. So, alright, that's my whole onion. Got my onion cut up. I'm going to cut these 4 tomatoes. Add them in. grandson came over on last night, and the first thing he says is, "Granny, can we have fried chicken for dinner?" I was like, generally I don't cook during the week because I have to go to work, and so I'll come in and I'll have something quick like a sandwich or some soup or something that I've canned in the past, maybe some eggplant chili or some cabbage soup. But he wants him some fried chicken, so that's why I'm cooking a full meal tonight. So along with this okra and tomatoes, we're gonna have fried chicken, and then I'm also gonna make a side of mashed potatoes to go with it. And a little gravy, of course. You can't have mashed potatoes without gravy. So I'm also cutting these up in squares. They're just not too small because, like I said, it's gonna have to cook with the okra once you combine everything. And so you don't have to dice it. You can do a nice chop depending on how big you want your tomatoes. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my tomatoes, I'm cutting them in half. Then the half, I'm slicing it down by 4, and then the 4, I think I'm cutting it probably about 4 times. Yeah, 3 to 4 times depending on how big your tomato is. So I am growing a few different types of okra outside. I have some of the motherland okra, which is similar to I think the Star of David. It looks something like that. It's just not as long. It's a little shorter. Then I also have some Clemson spineless okra and some emerald okra as well. I do have a couple of okra that I started. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get anything off of them because they're still a little on the small side, but it's a jambalaya okra. I've seen several YouTube videos where they say the jambalaya okra starts to produce pretty early. So maybe I will get some tomato, maybe I will get some okra, maybe I won't. I don't know, but I'm hoping I will. I'm not pulling it up until the cold front comes in and kills it. All right, tomatoes are done. Rinse a few of these sausages off. I said this is the most party time. I'm gonna put 1, 2. I'm gonna put 4. I don't need to add too much meat because we already have meat as a main dish, which is the chicken wings. And so I'm not gonna add too many of the Zumo sausages. Got my sausages. I'm going to cut them in half. Then I'm going to cut the half in half. And then I'm going to cut it down the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cuts across the side, down the side. So cut the half in half, and then make approximately 8 cuts, depending on how large you want your sausage pieces to be. This is one of my most favorite dishes. I absolutely love okra and tomatoes. I don't even need meat with it. I can just have okra and tomatoes, no chicken, no rice, just okra and tomatoes. Ever since I was a little girl, I always loved okra and tomatoes. And my oldest grandson, I'm sorry. When he was younger, I would feed him okra and tomatoes, and he loved it too. He's big on tomatoes. We go to Jason's Deli. He always orders the tomato basil soup. And when I tell you, he sits there and he eats that tomato basil soup like a grown man, I love it. Because sometimes it's hard to introduce kids to vegetables, you know? Gotta start them out early. But his dad is the same way. His dad loves his veggies. He eats fried eggplant, tomatoes, salads. So I would expect him to eat those types of things. And don't get me wrong, he still likes his hot chips, stuff like that, chocolate, but he will eat healthy things as well. And he knows that Grandma is going to hook him up, and that's the reason why the first thing out of his mouth was, Grandma, can we have fried chicken? I almost finished cutting the sausage up. Alright, got the sausage cut up, put it in a bowl. Oops, almost knocked it over. I shan't be needing this cutting board anymore, or the knife. Wash it off and move it out of the way so I don't accidentally cut myself. Alright, now that everything is cut up and ready to go, alright, we got our onions, our tomatoes, our sausage is all cut up and ready to go. So the next thing I want to do is add a little olive oil to my pan, and I will stir fry my onion and my sausage in here once it heats up. Potatoes on. Put a little salt in there. Alright, that's heating up pretty good. put our sausage in there. Next we'll be adding onion. Alright. The sausage is cooking pretty good. I have it on a medium, maybe one notch over medium. Set it up a little bit more because this pot's kind of big. Make sure that heat is in all areas of the pot. Alright, I'm going to stir fry this sausage for a little bit. I'll bring you guys back once I get the sausage stir fried. Alright, so I've stir fried the sausage for a little bit. I'm going to add the onion. You don't want to cook the sausage to death because one, it still has to cook a little bit more once you start putting all the other ingredients in. And so you just kind of want to brown it a little bit to help add some flavor. This is the way I do mine. I'm not a professional chef, but this is the way my mama taught me to cook. And so if you cook yours a little bit different, that's fine. But this is how I cook mine, and I love it. Alright, got the onions going in there. This smells delicious already. And the okra that I'll be using is this bag of okra right here. Like I said, it's got a little bit of, probably 3 different types of okra. It's got some overland okra, Clemson okra, and spineless. Clemson spineless and emerald okra. So that's what I'll be using today. Alright, that's cooked down. I'm going to drop this okra in there. Here's the okra. Time for the seasoning. I got some onion powder. I'm going to add some garlic powder. Some black pepper. And I guess a little bit of this complete seasoning. I don't want to use the Tony Chachere's or the Slap Your Mama. So I'm going to use a little bit of this complete seasoning. Use a half top full of that. I'll put a little more, be a little more generous. And then I have to keep coming back and adding more seasoning. It is seasoned to perfection. Add my black pepper. This is coarse ground black pepper. Well, it says butcher block, but it looks coarse ground to me. And so you don't have to add too much of the coarse ground black pepper. That's plenty. Then I got my onion powder. And my garlic powder, of course. I'm not going to use the garlic real heavy. And I'll be adding in a tad bit of water. My tomatoes will be added. And then I have this 1 can of tomato paste that I'm going to add in there. I'm going to put the top on and let it cook down for a few minutes. And I will bring you guys back when I'm adding in the tomato paste. Alright, so it has cooked down a little bit to where I'm able to stir it. I'm already starting to see a little bit of slime just from stirring it. And so I don't want to stir it too much because that makes it slimier. What I want to do is get this fixed, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the vinegar, and that's supposed to help cut down on the slime. For those of you that don't like slime in your okra, that's a good way to prevent it. You go ahead and add in this tomato paste. Yep, I want everything I paid for. Add a little more water. Probably add about a tablespoon of vinegar. And then I can't forget to cut the acidity in the tomato paste and the tomatoes. I'm also going to add a tablespoon of sugar. It will not be sweet. Just going to cut back on that acidity in the tomatoes so that you don't have heartburn. Alright, let's let it cook a little bit more and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so it's already been cooking about 15 minutes. I'm going to allow it to cook a few more, probably about five to 7 more minutes, but it already looks really good. The sauce is coming in with the tomato paste. It's not real slimy. I did have to add a little more salt to taste, but other than that, it tastes good. Matter of fact, let me taste it again after I added that salt. perfect. Just gotta cook a little bit longer. Like I said, probably about 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it off and just let it sit there and finish simmering. Check my potatoes. Those need to cook a few more minutes too. Dinner is served. The chicken wings have been fried. The mashed potatoes have been mashed. The gravy is made. And the whole reason for this video, the okra and tomatoes, is ready. I'm going to give it a try. Not too much because I still got to eat dinner. So it looks scrumptious. It's piping hot still. I'm going to try one of the Motherland okra. Tastes good. Tastes real good. I don't know, maybe I should start cooking during the week a little more often. This is delicious. Now I'm ready to eat it. Alright, so that's it for this video. I just wanted to bring you guys along while I prepared my okra and tomatoes, just to kind of show you what you can do with your harvest. If you run out of ideas, you can always look online. Like I said, you can use your okra in your gumbo. If you like okra in your gumbo, you can make stewed okra. You can bake okra with just salt and pepper on it. There's so many different ways to prepare it. This just so happens to be one of my favorite recipes. I hope you'll give it a try too. I appreciate you guys for joining me. If you found my content interesting, I'd appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe. Also, leave down in the comments if you make yours a different way or you have different ingredients. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.